What's up, guys? We are back here working on Frank 10. Per UPS information, the exhaust is supposed to come in today. So today, we're gonna get back on Frank 10 and take this one little stack off. Here it is, right here, nothing major. We'll just take the little clamps loose, unbolt it right there, take the little cross piece off, give it a big old kick with the old size 14 boot and knock it off. And we'll see what happens from there. I don't know, let's see how it goes. It's a 1-inch. I'll be back with a 1-inch ratchet. Don't leave. So is it just me, or does everybody grab like all the tools they think they might possibly need when they go to the toolbox store or something? Like, that's not even the right size. I don't know what size it was. No. This is it. There we go. Safety gloves. Don't forget your safety gloves, guys. I basically got every single socket in the entire barn right here. So I should have what I need. I know I need a 9/16 for the top. Maybe another 9/16, 12. Let's go with 12. No, 12 to 13. I don't know what size it is. Anybody else know what size it is? I'll be back. So one time I went to the local parts store. I said, hey, you see that crescent wrench sitting up there on the shelf? So what size is that? He said, it's a 12-inch. It's 12-inch. I said, okay. I said, do you have like the one that size, but in a metric, the metric version of it? A metric crescent? He's like, oh, let me go get my book and I'll look. And he goes over to the counter and gets his book, and he's fixing to call like the store manager up. I was like, bro, don't worry about it, homie. Don't worry about it. He's like, okay, and then suddenly it dawned on him. He's like, you got me. I'll be back one more time. Bingo. I think I'm gonna go get the cutting torch. I'll be back again. Boom. Okay. Let's try this out and see what happens. Banzai! So I did not show, but this hood, as you can see, has all sorts of imperfections in it. The top of it is all sorts of jacked up. I went to the local auto parts store and got the fiberglass repair kit. It comes with the fiberglass mat, like you see right there. It's got the resin and the hardener you mix up and put it together. It works really well. I'm not very good at it. I'm not a professional, so it's just my disclaimer. However, it wasn't hard to use and turned out quite well. I went back to the auto parts store for some body filler, Bondo body filler. This is name brand stuff, guys, real deal. I've already mixed up a small batch of it, and I am not a professional. You see this back here, guys, all this farm equipment? This is what I do. I'm a farmer, not a body man. I watch YouTube videos like you're doing right now, and like to learn, like to do some stuff. It's wintertime, there's not a whole lot going on, so I've got time to work on this. So that's what we're doing, we're working on it. Now, per the Bondo instructions, it says to get a piece about the size of a golf ball. It's a odd-shaped golf ball, and lay about a 1.25 inch strip of hardener across it and mix it in. And the videos, there's other videos of this. This is not a Bondo tutorial. This is just me doing it. They say mix it all together, knead it, stir it. And on the can it says to not mix any more than what you can use in 3 to 4 minutes. And I briefly read across that. I noticed it, but I thought, what the heck. Well, what happens is this stuff actually starts to set up really, really quick. And so if you don't use it all in 3 to 4 minutes, you end up with just a big chunk right here like this that you can't use because it's already getting hard. And so what we're going to have to do is mix this up really quickly and then apply it onto the truck in the places we need. And hopefully it turns out well. And because once you kind of put it on, it starts to set up and get stuck. So there's not a whole lot of round 2 and try it again. We're going to scrape it out, get all the unmixed stuff worked in. It's really easy once you kind of get the hang of it. But the mixing and using it very quickly is something that I found out the hard way. Can you still see that? All right. We're just going to take a little bit of this at a time, and in the spots where this is where we patch the holes with the fiberglass kit, I'm just going to push it in. This little trowel spatula, push it in real good. Try to get it in there real deep. Scrape it off and go to the next spot. I'm sure a professional body man could just get it done. There's probably some professional body man watching me do this and just cringing because I suck at it. But if you want a tutorial on not how to do this, on not how to do body filler, this is probably the one to watch. So if you're wondering, Jared, what did you learn the first time you ever did body work? The thing I found the most important is use this little thing they give you in the kit or whatever. Don't use a putty trowel you found at the hardware store. This thing is like perfect. It'll fold around, slip around, fit the curves, whatever. Works really nice. 2, find a nice warm day to do this. I read somewhere that most of the time it doesn't work if it's under 45 degrees or you have it sets up too fast, I think. And we're setting 40, 50 outside, maybe 45 in here because it's kind of early in the afternoon. It hadn't warmed up yet. And so I think that's probably part of the weird problem because it's setting up so fast. I literally get it mixed up and it starts to harden, and by the time I'm actually flapping it on there, it's not giving me the results I want. It's getting like too puttified, I guess you could say. Good news is they say this stuff is sandable in 30 minutes, and if it's going that fast, we'll get it sanded and see how it turns out. Okay, what we've done here, got this finished up. This has been puttied up, sanded. This corner here was all sorts of busted up, and it has now been sanded smooth. We sanded it with 80 grit sandpaper, and it has turned out really well. I'm gonna say I'm not a professional, but obviously it has turned out decently. There was a big gash right there, and it is, once you get paint on it, I'm tempted to just squirt it with a shot of primer just to look at it and see, but it is finished. These holes right here, they're a little dusty, but they are ready to paint. I'm working on the very last of the sanding. My sandpaper is almost gone. I got 2 little spots right here. We've got everything filled in. Everything is smooth to touch. It's dusty, obviously, but I got 2 little spots here. I'm gonna finish up. We're gonna call that a wrap. This hood is gonna turn out quite much nicer than what it was. Goodness gracious, look at my hair. Back in the action with the old trusty rusty Frank tent. Now why is it outside? We got it outside, got it fired up. Here's what's happening. Okay, so we've got these huge labels on it right here. Okay, see? This is like one big sticker. It's got 2 black stripes, some blue and some ugly brown. We want them gone, we want them out. So how am I gonna get them off? Okay, so here's what we're doing. The magic is power washer, okay? I got it parked out in the sun, got the power washer. It is blasting the stickers off. The problem is the stickers come off, but it's got this sticky residue behind it. And it's, you know, I mean, you see it, we see it. You see it on cars and stuff like that, and it's got this yucky, sticky stuff on it. I've got a little rig that goes on the pressure washer, and it actually can sandblast it. Now, this is sandblasted aluminum. I've left some of it. The residue is really thick right through here, so I got all this good and clean. This just spot clean was about all it needs. Once we put primer over it, sand it, it'll look really good. Let's get to power washing and get the rest of these stickers knocked off. Oh, man, gas. Look at me, I've got some gas. This sticker is washed off, blasted off, whatever. What we're gonna do is spray this entire side of it where that sticker was with WD-40. Let it set for 5 minutes, then get our little sandblasting apparatus hooked up and basically just blast all the residue off. Now keep in mind, like, I'm going down to almost bare metal here because we are repainting. I would not suggest doing this on the side of your car, truck, SUV where you want to save the paint, because the paint will not be saved. We're going to put new paint on it, so it's okay. So let's get spraying. Okay, I would like to apologize. We did not get any sandblasting action on camera. There's a couple reasons why. Biggest reason is it did not work as well as I'd hoped it would have. Something about the hose just sucks the sand up through and pushes it out with the water. Water is getting down in the sand hose, and when water and sand mix together, they kind of get to mud, and it did not work as well as I'd hoped. But what we did figure out is after spraying this with WD-40, we took sandpaper. We took just a little household, a $30 Black & Decker sander with 80 grit sandpaper, and it took a while, but we were able to sand the labels off. This is smooth. Obviously the paint is mostly gone here, but that is smooth. That is ready for primer and paint. And also, I did not show because it was getting dark, and we knew that we were going to have a change in weather today. Yesterday was 60 degrees outside, sun shining. Today, the sun has started to shine, but the wind has been blowing. It's about 30, 32 degrees outside, and so we wanted to be here inside the barn, not out there power washing the other side of it. So instead of sanding and filming, we just skipped all that and went ahead and power washed the other side. This side is completely power washed. It's got some dirt on it. So a couple things we learned. I don't know how many square feet of sticker we had, but there's a bunch of sticker. And as we power washed all the sticker off, the pieces of sticker would come off and stick to the truck and stay stuck on the truck. And so, such as our really shiny aluminum tanks we polished a week ago now have sticker stuck all over them. And I'm not exactly sure how we'll get it off, but that's going to have to be addressed and get all off. The side of this truck right here has old sticker stuck to it. Not the end of the world, not a problem, it can be fixed. So I've got a little chunk set to the side right here. I took a can of regular WD-40, sprayed it on, let it soak for about 10 minutes. Thing's got a hair trigger on it. Let it soak for about 10 minutes. I'm going to put a new sheet of sandpaper on it. This is 80 grit. And we'll get to sanding. I should lock this to make sure it doesn't come on. There we go. This little Black & Decker sander is like a little firecracker. It'll just randomly go off when you're least expecting it and throw you for a quick loop. Okay. I'm going to start here on a big spot. Yes, this is an absolute nightmare. I think it's time for a new sheet. See, that's just all sorts of gunked up with dirty stuff. I figured I would spare all the boring details of sanding off decals and stickers, but we figured out the key. So what I did was, obviously we saw it power washed, we soaked it all with WD-40, and then I had a magical tool. You saw me using the little Black & Decker sander. What I ended up using was this. This is a variable speed polisher buffer. I got this at Harbor Freight for $40 because I'm not a professional, I'm cheap. What I ended up doing was I took a sheet of 60 grit sandpaper, put it on this polishing wheel, taped it around, and the baby's thinking worked like a charm. It's got the variable speeds on it. It starts up real slow. Slow it down a little bit. And this whole side took about 45 minutes with this, whereas the other side took the better part of 3 hours with the little sander. Now granted, you can't really get in all these little cracks and stuff like this. I've got to take a little sander, finish a few spots up around the edge and stuff like that. And this thing will grind the edge, the top edge and the round part off of these rivets. So you have to be careful with how long you're holding it in one spot. But this was the magical trick. It looks rough now, it's obviously been used, but that was the key. And WD-40 was the trick. I read some reviews. Everybody said use WD-40, it seems to work the best. For the next part, we're going to basically just lightly sand all of this, and it will be ready for paint. So I was just right over there in the pins, finished up and feeding some hay, and I saw the UPS truck pull up. UPS truck, and he delivered these two great big long boxes labeled Chrome Shop Mafia. And I thought, what could this possibly be?